नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी के प्रधानमंत्री के रूप में अपने कर्तव्यों का श्रद्धापूर्वक और शुद्ध अंतःकरण से निर्वहन करूंगा।
But what if this never happened? Narendra Damodar Das Modi never became a Prime Minister. Who would be the 14th Prime Minister of India? How would Indian politics look like? What would be the global impact because of this? So, let's get updated on what would happen if Modi never became the Prime Minister of India.
देश देख रहा है, एक अकेला कितनों को भारी पड़ रहा है। अरे हम तो फकीर आदमी हैं, झोला लेके चल पड़ेंगे जी।
Before jumping into the alternate scenario, let's see the impact of Modi on India. So, we will consider some basic things which defines a country's progress. We will divide them in four main pillars: infrastructure, education, healthcare, and defense. So, let's see one by one how these sectors are addressed. First is the infrastructure. It forms the backbone of economic development, impacting connectivity, industrial growth, and overall quality of life. Before 2014, the highway construction rate was 11 kilometers per day. Fast forward to 2023, the highway construction rate increased to an impressive 35 kilometers per day. In 2014, only 40% of railways were electrified, whereas the railway electrification reached 85% in 2023, and the Vande Bharat Express trains introduced speed and efficiency. In 2014, there were only 250 million people using internet, and most of the country was unaware of it, whereas the internet users skyrocketed to over 800 million, powered by Digital India initiative, enabling better access to e-services, education, and jobs. Under the Saubhagya scheme, 18,000 plus villages were electrified, achieving nearly 100% rural electrification. Second is the education, which is critical for building a skilled and informed workforce. In 2014, the literacy rate in India stood at around 73%, with a significant gap between rural and urban areas, while in 2023, literacy rate improved by 77%, and the government focused on girl-child education through initiatives like Beti Bachao and Beti Padhao. The gross enrollment ratio in higher education increased from 19% in 2013 to 27% in 2021. Public spending on education was around 68,000 crores annually in 2014, which was raised to 1.12 lakh crore. Now coming to healthcare, a robust healthcare system ensures a healthier, more productive population and safeguard against pandemic and diseases. In 2014, public health spending was stagnant at 1.3% of GDP, whereas the public health spending increased to 2.1% of GDP. Access to basic healthcare services, especially in rural areas, was limited. The Ayushman Bharat scheme provided health insurance to over 500 million people, making it the largest health protection scheme globally. Sanitation was a major challenge, with over 50% of Indians lacking access to toilets. The Swachh Bharat mission resulted in the construction of over 100 million toilets, declaring India open defecation free. India administered over 2 billion vaccination doses during the COVID-19 pandemic. Last comes the defense, which plays a critical role in ensuring national security, sovereignty, and global standing. Before 2014, 70% of defense equipments were imported. Today, arms import have not reduced, but due to Make in India initiative, India is producing Tejas fighter jets, Arjun tanks, and INS Vikrant, its first indigenous-built aircraft carrier. Defense exports were negligible at around 1,500 crores annually. Defense export rose dramatically, reaching over 16,000 crores in 2023. Major operations like Surgical Strike in 2016 and Balakot Airstrike in 2019 showcased India's military capabilities and decisiveness. These were the four major pillars, but there is a basement on which these pillars are standing, that is, economy. An economy refers to a system of production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services within a specific region, country, or the world. Look at the economic comparison. It almost improved in all the aspects. So, to summarize, India's economic journey from 2014 to 2023 shows a significant progress driven by reforms, technology, and global engagement. While challenges like unemployment and income inequality persist, the foundation laid in these years set the stage for sustainable growth. These are all the good things, right? Don't worry guys, I will also cover some negative aspects of the ongoing government. Otherwise, some named YouTubers may say I am influenced by Godi media. So, the sudden implementation of demonetization led to economic disruption, especially affecting the daily wage workers and small businesses. Analysts have labeled it an epic failure, citing the minimal reduction in black money. The government's actions have been accused of promoting religious polarization, leading to increased communal tension. Opposition parties and human rights organizations have raised concerns about growing religious intolerance in India under Modi's leadership. The government was accused of not doing enough to protect India's territorial integrity and not taking a strong stance against China, leading to questions about the security situations at the border. Many economists have pointed to government's inability to create jobs and improve the labor market, even as it pushes for digitalization and skill development. And the main part, GST implementation. The goods and service tax introduced in India in 2017 have faced significant criticism due to its complexity, including multiple tax slabs and a burdensome compliance process, particularly for small businesses. So, from above points, we can summarize that whoever comes to power will have a positive and a negative aspect during the rule. We will say the person or the government ruled the country really well, only on the basis of the challenges handled by the government during the rule. So now, coming to our scenario, what if Modi never became a prime minister? If not Modi, then who? Rahul Gandhi? Let's be honest, he is more meme-worthy than Modi. But could he have united the opposition and led India? Maybe leaders like Nitish Kumar or even a coalition of regional leaders like Mamata Banerjee and Arvind Kejriwal could have stepped up. The political scenario would have been chaotic with constant bickering. In short, it might have been entertaining, but not exactly efficient. Without Modi, there would be no Swachh Bharat mission, no Digital India, and no UPI payments either. Picture yourself standing in a never-ending bank queue instead of scanning a QR code. Painful, right? On the flip side, there might have not been demonetization, which means no frantic ATM runs in 2016. The GST rollout may be smoother or maybe stuck in debts. Policies like Make in India or Atmanirbhar Bharat could have been replaced with something entirely different or not happened at all. And what about foreign policies? Without Modi's beer hugs and strong handshakes with world leaders, would India have gained same global spotlight? Maybe not. But then again, a different leader might have focused more on domestic issues like unemployment or education. Now, for $1 million question. Is India better off with or without Modi? That depends on who you ask. His supporters point to reforms, development, and India's growing global stature. His critics highlight unemployment, issues with regional harmony, and controversial policies. So, without Modi ever being a PM, India would be different. Yes, but not necessarily better or worse. It's like swiping Shah Rukh Khan for a new actor in a romantic movie. It changes the vibe, but the story still remains the same. And speaking of alternate realities, what if India never got its independence? Well, that's a story for another update.